You're listening to Braless Watch, where a mother and daughter team offer their own opinions on watching TV through a feminist lens.
I'm Beth, the mom.
And I'm Lily, the daughter.
Welcome to Braless Watch, where TV watching gets a whole new perspective. Clothing is optional. Hello.
Hi!
You sound bubbly.
I guess so. I'm just kind of excited for today.
Yeah.
This is an interesting show.
That's where I'm at. I'm kind of at interesting. I don't know if excited is right there. I'm excited about the show that it's been made and it's available.
I'm excited that we're talking about it.
Yeah. I think it's a show that needs to be talked about and put out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about the second best hospital in the galaxy. We're talking about season 1.
Longest title in the whole wide world.
That was Amazon's choice. So it's an Amazon Prime original. And that was Amazon's choice. It was originally called The Hospital.
Right.
And then the tagline was the second best hospital in the galaxy. And Amazon was like, nah, let's make that the title.
Wow.
Who knows why?
I mean, I don't know. And when the intro comes on, right? Second is like in a neon sign, so it's not even written as part of the rest of the title.
It's different. Yeah, because it's like it was added in because technically in their universe, the Nebulous General is the best hospital, right?
Right.
And so their hospital is the second best.
Right. The best I can figure is the second best hospital, which is the one we're going to be highlighting because that's what the show is about, is a research hospital, which is different than what the Nebula Hospital purports it or has been represented to be.
They're all rich folk over there.
Right. So the hospital is privately funded, I'm sure, and like there's a bunch of things to it.
Who knows?
Right.
They don't dig into that because that's not the important part.
No.
of the hospital stuff for them, for this show at least.
Right. Yeah.
Administration is not the focus of this show. It focuses around a hospital in a faraway galaxy that's not real. I think.
Which posed some problems for our show because it's not based in any kind of reality of any kind.
It's not based in reality. It's also set in the super far future, 14002. That's
makes
the year.
0 sense to me. I don't know.
Well, that's just that far away. It's so far. It's 12,000 years away. So
right? Yeah.
And we can't even think that far. So, yeah. It makes this show really, our episode, a little bit difficult because they don't reference things either. So
there's no real reference to anything other
trivia.
Than there's no trivia. There are some overarching themes that I could pull out from social themes. Yeah.
But for trivia's sake, because a lot of times the shows will mention an actor or a TV show or something like that you have to look up. This show does not do that because it's set in a fully fake reality in the super far future.
It also proved a little bit hard to look up things because there's made up words and made up names.
Because they're all aliens.
Because it's all...
There's, I think, one human in the whole thing. I think we see one human in the whole thing.
Really?
At the very, very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
As the host for the alien they were trying to save.
Right. Which disturbed me to no end. And I'm like, this is not boding well for the rest of me watching this first season.
So the first season came out in 2024. The second season came out in 2025. Hopefully they'll get a third season. So I haven't seen this show before. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen this show before.
No. So we both watched this new for this show.
Yeah, and
podcast.
I was saying off record there. I was saying off air, yeah. That I wish I had watched it prior to watching it for Braless Watch. Because I feel like I had two brains going. One, I want to enjoy what's happening and enjoy the environment that they're presenting to me. But then I also need to watch it for, the things I'm watching for, which is the trauma warnings and the LGBT themes and things like that. And also just character development and relationships and things like that. So, and then also, usually costume work and backdrops, but it just
it's animated, so
it's animated. Yeah,
is animated, so it's a little different.
I feel like one of the characters in the show that has a bunch of eyeballs, and I'm just trying to watch all the things
Just try to catch everything all at once.
Yeah, so
Take it
I will
all
go
in.
back and rewatch it because I wanna watch it for enjoyment purposes.
Yeah, I will definitely do that too. I right off the bat, I did enjoy it, and I did laugh about things I probably shouldn't have, but I did laugh.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I don't think I laughed, but it's a little bit harder to make me laugh.
Right.
So, I have a very specific
I
humor,
really
so
enjoy animated wacky fun, so that's what this
yeah,
show really is.
I do too. Again, I think my brain was split from, "Let's
Mhm.
look at this intellectually, academically," not my entertainment brain, which is, a little bit looser and
Right.
that kind of thing. So, I have
Okay.
parts apparently that
You have
did
to
not
be split up
coalesce.
into multiple pieces, I guess.
I guess so.
Alright, whatever.
I will
Um,
say that the universe, world, or whatever that they're
yeah.
purporting to present to us is definitely one that I felt comfortable in, which I
Mhm.
found interesting as a response from myself that that's a world I could
Well, it probably
be fine
helps
in.
that the writing team was composed entirely of female writers and LGBTQ writers,
Yep.
so that probably helped
Yep.
because it made the world very accepting,
Yep.
and that's just what it is. There was no big coming out, there was no big reveals, there was nothing like that. It was just, "This is what it is," and they didn't explain it. It's just what it is.
Yep. It's
Eh
those this I wrote something about that with the how it sets it where it lacks the othering that we
Mhm.
experience in our realm in reality now, right? It doesn't have the othering. What they base the measurements of their character on are how you treat me and how,
Mhm.
are you learning? And then I wrote about the repair even of emotional injury and how that
Mhm.
there's room for not only the injury to happen, but then the repair to happen as well.
Right.
So removing the othering allows that room for the emotional,
Mhm.
and what I mean by othering is this deep-seated judgment that we have for each other.
Yeah, it doesn't happen against the characters. You do have corporations othering other people.
Yes, there is the theme of the corruption and,
Right. Corruption and
corporation and stuff
corporation
like
and stuff,
yeah,
but it's not people doing it. I mean,
right,
there are people involved, obviously, because that's how corporations are, but it's
right,
not people person to person.
right. Which I
So
wonder if this is, like, hospital policy or whatever because, we do get a glimpse when,
we don't spend
Nurse
a
Tuck
lot of
goes
time
over the other one.
outside of
No.
the
Yeah.
hospital. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting how this is but I would imagine it mirrors the society at large. I don't know. I'd also written the statements about how there are representations of all sorts of hooking up, relationship styles, and sexual exploration with no restraints of socially constructed norms. I put that in huge quotes, such as the
mhm.
patriarchal and heavily religious structures we experience in our time, in our
Yeah.
realm.
So they don't
Yeah.
even mention marriage,
Mm-mm.
um, what it's life partner or those kind of things, connection. Um,
Yeah.
they fully take out all of those pieces.
Again, no
What do you
judgment,
have?
right?
Right.
They just introduce or not introduce or whatever, and the interest is in the health of the relationship, not in who you're dating or what is happening between you, right?
Right.
There's no interest there. It's how healthy are you? How well are you doing? How, are you adjusting to that? Is it something that's making you happy?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's really a focus on the emotional health.
Wealth.
I mean, we could put it that way too. Emotional emotional stability. How
Mhm.
much emotional stability are you getting from some of these relationships?
Yeah.
And, I think what gets missed in our realm is we don't allow room to be hurt or, by other
Mhm.
people, or we
Well,
don't
if
allow that room have that, area of repair either.
if you take a sitcom kind of idea, everything has to be wrapped up in a nice pretty bow in 22 minutes.
Mhm.
Um, so that's what happens in a lot of TV shows is that everything has to be nice and pretty so that everything's reset back to what it was before so we can go to the next episode.
Yeah, I didn't get that feeling from this show.
No, this show does not do that, which is nice.
Yeah.
Um,
What did she say? A growth opportunity? or
Yeah.
something she used.
Growth opportunity. That's her mom's word.
Yeah, her mom's word, growth opportunity.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go over the trigger warnings.
Yes, trigger warnings. Okay, everyone. It's gonna
Uh,
be a little weird, I'm just gonna say.
well, it's aliens, so
I was
yes.
trying to take their world and put it into our world, and that translation comes in a little
Mhm.
bit interesting ways. So I'm gonna do the best I can.
We
And I'm
got
sorry if I
this.
missed one or two. Okay, trigger warnings. Medical emergency, which is right
Yes.
out of the gate.
I mean, it's a medical show.
It's a medical show. Cutting, stabbing, bodily fluids,
Mhm.
liquid spurting, which got me. It's all over the place too. Sexual content,
Mhm.
mental health, mindless killing and unfettered murder.
Okay. I
Hmm.
guess.
Yeah, I can explain that if you want.
Is that the
Flashing
crunchy
lights.
screechies?
It's not
Ah,
just that, it's the flies and like a bunch of other things. It's just, yeah.
it's the smaller beings. Gotcha. Okay.
Flashing lights, violence of all types. You can
Yep.
think it's probably got done in that show. Death, sense
Mhm.
of danger,
Mhm.
sexually transmitted disease, which was a funny show.
That was
That
a
one,
great
that
episode.
was
We'll
an
get there.
yeah. Medical ethics issues,
Mhm.
parent-child relationship exploration,
Mhm.
bullying, medical staff talking to and about one another in front of each other or in front of patients. That triggered me on behalf of people who have experienced that. So I wanted to make sure I put that in.
Okay.
Self-harm,
Mhm.
relationship stress, familial stress, and apocalyptic themes and nihilism.
Ooh. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. This is
So
a good
yeah,
one.
this is interesting. I
This is a
probably
very
missed a few.
oh,
Just gonna
probably.
say because
They talk really fast.
they talk really fast. They talk in words that don't make any sense.
Right? They talk in words that are not our words.
Like I
Because
think that's
again,
another.
it's a future world and that they're not humans. So
Yeah,
they
I think that
speak
was
in their
another
own
reason why I wanted to watch it prior or had.
jargon.
Yeah, of course they're speaking to each other, and it makes a whole lot of sense to them.
Right,
But
of course.
those of us watching are like, "What?"
Okay. Cast?
Yeah, cast.
The cast
Okay.
was great. Great choices on all the cast, by the
Oh
way.
gosh, yes. And I'm not gonna do everyone.
No, of course
Um,
not.
but I'm gonna do the main ones that were pretty much through the whole season because we did just season 1 this time.
Mhm.
Okay. Dr. Sleech is
Mhm.
played by Stephanie Shue.
Mhm.
Dr. Clack is played by Kiki Palmer, and Dr. Clack actually has a whole full name that I'm not gonna say
Oh
because it's
yeah,
really
it's
difficult
really long.
and long. Dr. Clack is a shortened name for that character. Dr. Vlam is
Mhm.
played by Maya Rudolph.
Mhm.
Dr. Azell is played by Sam Smith.
Mhm.
Nurse Tupp is played by Natasha Lyonne.
Mhm.
Dr. Ploup is played by Kieran Culkin.
Yep.
Love the name. Yeah, Dr. Ploup.
Ploup.
Matt is played by Andrew Dismukes. And the reason it's just Matt is because he's
He's the
he's
vending
like
machine
yeah,
guy.
he's the
That's all
vending
he
machine
is.
guy. He's like an orderly person or something that comes
He's
around
not
and
even that. He's
he does
just
like
the vending machine.
he does
Yeah.
supply stuff. Yeah, he's like a supply guy. But he's one of the main characters. So
He is. Mostly
he's just
because of
Matt.
Sleech.
Right.
Well, because everybody else is a doctor or a nurse, and he's
Right.
not. He just exists.
So, how do you want to go about this particular
um,
show?
I was thinking we'd go character by character.
All right. Sounds good. Who would
Rather
you like to
than
get started with then?
it's a great question. Okay, did you have a favorite? Because I have a favorite.
Man, okay. I think I'm torn between Dr. Vlam and Dr. Ploup. And I
Okay,
think it's because of the empathy and how I
that's fair.
utilize my empathy. And I found it interesting that Dr. Vlam is a complete robot, but for some reason
Mhm.
has a feeling chip or something in the body
Right.
and can fully engage in an emotional way.
Yeah.
and experiences all of the range of hurt, even though they're a robot. So or she's a
Well,
robot.
they've been
So,
around for years.
yeah.
Thousands and
I don't
thousands
know
of
all the
years.
pronouns. That was another one I was a little confused by. So, forgive me if I pull the wrong pronoun for the
I think
doctors and stuff.
Vlam is she, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I think Lamb is she. I know Dr. Azell is them,
Yes.
but the others and Dr. Ploup is he,
Yes.
so the others might be a little bit so I apologize if that's not what was supposed to be
Ploup is he because he brought all his brothers.
that was a fun episode.
Alright, so shall we just start with Ploup? Why not?
I mean, if you wanted to start with the male characters, sure.
Sure, we can get the male characters out of the way. There's not that many of them.
I think
And
that
they're
was on
actually
purpose, actually.
they're the most emotional characters.
They are. They are. Dr. Ploup is it was interesting the way they
So
put
he's
him
a bird-like creature, number
he's a
1.
bird-like creature.
Number 2, he's an empath for most of the season
Yep.
and is going into first puberty.
I found that very interesting. They called it first puberty. I don't know if that has any bearing on birds because I know nothing about birds other than what they
I
eat.
don't know.
So, yeah. But Dr. Ploup is a fully emotional being,
Mhm.
and the way that it works is that he draws others' feelings and can sense completely deeply, which is a Star Trek reference. I don't know if you count that or not from The Next Generation. Deanna Troi is also the same way, like a full empath, right? And so that's probably where that was drawn from because I did see that this show was referenced on a bunch of different,
Right,
alien
they
type
that
shows,
that
right?
was the whole point, that was part of the development was that,
Yeah.
it really development of the show, it started with, the thought process of what would happen to somebody who was in, like, a Groundhog Day situation from the
Mm,
movie Groundhog Day.
mhm.
What if they were a patient at a hospital? What would happen? Same with, The Thing. If that was a patient at the hospital, what would the hospital look like?
Right, right. So there might be some themes that are drawn like Dr. Ploup, right? That has
Mhm.
this full ability to draw emotion from other people and be able to pinpoint, I'm sensing that you're feeling this or I'm sensing that
Right.
you're feeling that. And the reason that I can relate to that character is because I have a similar way about using my empathy, and I call it hyper empathy because not a lot of people have this sense about themselves
Mhm.
to be able to feel quote unquote the energy in the room or anything like that. And this gets into a woo type,
It does.
conversation. But when you're presented with it in a cartoon like this, where that's just practically normal,
Right? Well, it's normal for him.
normal for him. What's funny is when he goes through, the breakup, right, with
Right.
the Dr. Sleech,
Mhm.
he eats some food that affects his hormones,
It forces him to go into second puberty.
which I find so interesting as a perimenopausal woman that this character is going through similar issues. Like, we have to be very careful about what we eat and when
Uh-huh.
we eat and all of that stuff because there's a lot of factors in food that affect our hormonal system.
Yeah.
And it is pretty sensitive in the perimenopausal, menopausal time frame. I'm gonna say
Mhm.
it's probably all of our lives
Well, because
as a
that's a
uterine
second
holding person, but
it is a second puberty, quote, unquote, for
mhm,
women.
mhm. So, again, I relate to that character quite a bit in that
That
way
makes
too.
sense.
So, Dr.
Yep.
Ploup was really interesting. Anyway, during the second puberty change and the transition, he was actually forcing his emotions out rather
Yep.
than bringing them in from other people, and so everybody around him was starting to feel the despair
Because he was in
and the
heartbreak.
yeah, and the heartbreak and the sadness and the grief and
Mhm.
all of that, so he quarantined himself with Matt, and poor Matt got the full brunt of it all.
I actually so turning to Matt a little bit, I like Matt as a character. I didn't think I was going to, but I like him as a character because he starts to learn about himself talking to Ploup.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
starts to realize, oh, he likes that connection that he has with Ploup, and they actually become friends,
Yeah.
and it's really interesting.
Again, allowing that emotional space, right,
Mhm.
to grow and to learn about yourself, learn about the relationship you're forming with somebody, learn about
Right.
them, right? And their emotional load. Like,
Well, and he also he wasn't affected much by Ploup. Everybody else was like wanting to lay down and just stare at the ceiling, but he Matt was like, "It's feelings, it'll pass. It's fine."
because Matt is more of a water-based person, basically.
He lives in the now. He's very much kind of like
Yeah.
a surfer dude,
So
if you're thinking of that, put it in
in
our
therapy
context.
terms, it's water off a duck's back, if you've ever heard that, where
Yeah.
feelings can just roll. Yes, you're experiencing them, but you're not holding on to them.
He
And
says, they're like a tide.
yeah, they're like a tide. Yeah. And I've actually described grief that way of standing at the edge of an ocean with waves coming in, and waves of grief will come and overcome you, but they also recede.
Mhm.
Panic is the same way, anxiety is the same way. If you just sit with it for a minute, it will go away.
Mhm.
If it doesn't go away, then that means you need more help or more
Right.
assistance, whether that be medication, therapy, or whatever, right? But yeah, usually feelings just come and go like that.
Anyway, so those are the 2 male characters. Now that we're done with them, toss them aside.
Okay. Who would you like to go to next?
I was thinking Nurse Tup, because
Okay,
she
yeah.
is my favorite
Yeah,
character.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Why is Nurse Tup your favorite character?
Because she's so honest. She's so honest. There's a later line where she says, "It's an honor to be a waste of resources." That's one.
Mhm.
She says, "I'm glad you're not dead, though it would make my life easier."
She actually reminds me of a nurse, character nurse on
Uh-huh.
ER.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sure on a bunch of other medical
Oh,
dramas too.
probably.
But there's
Where
a
they're
particular
just
nurse on ER that has been there so long, has
right?
gone through all the iterations and changes of
So
funding
honest.
and administrations and all these things, that there's a sense of seasonedness, right, with this
Right? They're a
particular
little
type.
bit jaded.
A little bit, but they still stick around
Right?
because they're getting some kind of sense out of it, also being, monetarily compensated, but
Right.
there's something in it for them emotionally, and
R
it's hard to let go, but then there's that sense of, there's a bite to them, right? A little bit of
Mhm.
an edge.
There's an edge to them that if you touch it, you're gonna cut yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and it's not that they don't have empathy, it's just that they use their empathy very selectively and, on
right.
purpose.
Right, so that happens with Tup, right? Because Tup
Mhm,
gets a job offer
mhm.
to work at Nebulous General bleh, works at Nebulous General, and so she goes to work over there, but realizes that she doesn't wanna be fixing up people's teeth and making them feel pretty or whatever.
Right,
That's not what she's doing, that's not the reason why she's a nurse.
yeah,
So she goes back to work for the other hospital.
right, she comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a line in the first episode where she says, "One of these days, I'm going to go to lunch, and I'm never coming back."
Right? Which is a true threat
Right?
because it is possible, but then also it's sort of a veiled threat too, that's not like a
Right?
"I'm
It's
only
I
kidding" kinda threat,
right,
maybe?
"You might lose me, so be careful about yourself." She also says in that episode, "I'm going to lunch so I won't have to stand trial," and walks out of the room.
She removes herself as a witness,
"I will not be a part of this."
right? Again, it's
Uh,
that discernment. It's not judgment, it's discernment. It's
mhm,
making sure that you are either needed or not needed, and it comes with it's less impulsive as you age because you start
mhm,
to learn the areas and the systems and the relationships and all of that you want or don't want to be a part of, and
mhm.
you start to build that discernment a little bit better about yourself, about whether or not you want to engage. And she just chooses, nope, not today. Gonna turn
Right?
around and walk back out.
Well, then at the same time, there's also the episode where she gets that teleporter accident because the
Right,
patient gets inside her,
right.
and she's still trying to do her job,
Yeah, just takes the patient with her.
right? She's like, "We're gonna go do this."
Not gonna let it slow me down.
Right?
And of course the patient's head sticking out of her stomach.
Uh-huh. Of course, of course. Okay, I think Vlam now? See
Sure.
Vlam?
So we get an introduction of Lamb when they're trying to revive a stasis patient or
Right.
homeostasis. Stasis? I think stasis is the right word.
It's cryogenic. They're coming out of
Stasis.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Vlam has, like, a procedure she has to do, so she has a projection of herself that goes inside to revive the patient
To
to
slowly wake up the brain,
right? And
especially the
then
senses of the brain.
right, right, right.
Smells, colors,
And she falls in
touch.
love with the
She
patient
does.
while inside their brain. This
She
is our
does.
introduction to this character. Like, we
I know.
hadn't seen this character at all.
I was a little worried. I was like, "Oh no, this character's not gonna go well."
One, the boundaries, like,
Mhm.
there's no professionalism, completely loses the boundaries of professionalism, completely loses the boundaries of personal wants, needs, desires, or whatever, just wants to
Right.
give in to the feelings, which I think is part of the process, right?
Right.
Because the patient, as they're waking up, also falls for all of that. But as they come into reality and
Right.
they're meeting on the outside of that, the patient's
They
like, "And you are?"
they
"I don't
don't
remember who
remember.
you are." Exactly, and Vlam's like, "Uh, oh, now I have sadness." And
Right.
Ploup is standing right next to her like, "Oh, I can feel your sadness."
Uh,
So funny, but that's our introduction to Vlam, but I actually learned to like Vlam a little bit
mhm.
more as the Vlam starts to learn to get that edge, I think, that that Nurse Tup
Mhm.
has to
Well,
learn
and
those boundaries of where to apply the empathy, where to feel the right things at the right times in the right places, right?
right, and we also get more of her background, right? Because she has lived a very, very long life, thousands and thousands of years, many
Mm,
partners.
mhm. She
So
one of her lines is "so many poly partners" or whatever she said.
yes.
She was almost
She was a
berating herself for
right.
having so many partners.
She was annoyed that she had so many poly groups.
So this is also sort of a Star Trek reference, in that there's a character named Dax that has
Mhm.
a symbiote host that is inside the abdominal area,
Mhm.
and the host has been in many, many bodies, and Dax is
Right.
just one of them and can switch who's talking or whatever,
Right.
and has said similar things. "I've had so many partners, I've had female, male, doesn't matter,"
Yeah.
all of that. So that was a very controversial character coming out of Deep Space Nine, which is the one that character's in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Vlam also, has lived many different kinds of lives. So, number one, she knows Cthulhu or Cthulhu, the mythical character that they found.
I think it's Kathonk?
I think it's Cthulhu too.
Yeah,
The,
Kathonk.
it's not a mythical character. It's just in the science world, and they created a whole day around this guy, even though he's an awful human being,
Right.
awful person being.
Person, being, yeah, I was writing being in my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
he's not a
but
good
Vlam
being.
knew him, and it didn't come up again in this season, and I'm interested to see where that goes.
Yeah, we could have done with a little bit of a side jaunt on that storyline, I think.
Could have, but this season wasn't about Vlam.
No,
So,
it wasn't. Yeah.
but Vlam was also a pirate. Um, so get to
But the
learn a
thing is
lot.
that even though Vlam has lived so many lives and lived
Mhm.
so long, you can tell there's still room for growth,
Right.
emotional growth. Yeah.
They're still learning about themselves, about the world, all these kind of things. Anything else you want to say about Vlam?
No, I did think
Okay.
that, the episode where she was trying to be a certain character in a book that, because she got to meet the
Ah,
author and all of that,
the
she
naughty
came
Nautilus.
she came that drawing, because it's
Uh-huh.
animated, right? That drawing actually reminded me of Rose Quartz in Steven Universe because it's
I could
sort
see
of
it. Very
this
big.
voluptuous,
Yeah.
yeah, but pretty and
Yeah.
enticing and, very
She's very
soothing and
tall
very
too.
tall, yeah. Just this sort of character, I was like, "Man, that drawing is so pretty." I was kind of
and
attracted to
and
that.
they got
Um
her a new shell.
They got her a new
Vintage
shell,
shell at that.
a vintage shell. But Vlam comes to terms with understanding that she's not the character she,
Right. Thought she was.
well, thought she was, but then also was aspiring to be, that
Right.
she realizes she doesn't have the skill set or the makeup for her to be that
Right.
character that she, and then she settles in. She's like, I am a whatever that
A
was.
Fernod or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Made up words.
There's a lot of
Anyway.
made up words in this show.
Yeah. So we get to see that in real time,
Right.
the growth. Yeah. That was a really good episode, actually.
Okay.
Well, since we have done all the ones except for the main characters, let's do Dr. Azel
Yeah, that's what I was
next.
thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do Azelle. Azelle drips with privilege.
Right?
It just flows off of them.
What did they say? They said, oh gosh, I wish we wrote that down.
I might
Um,
have if you tell me what it.
it was in the last episode, I think.
Oh.
About, and they were walking away and they said, and I genuinely feel, oh, that's what it was. It wasn't in the last episode. It was, I genuinely feel like I shouldn't have to pay at the
Oh, that's when
cafeteria.
yeah, because they said they're gonna go steal because I genuinely don't have to pay.
Right.
Steal from the cafeteria.
They said steal, the word
Yeah.
steal. They
Steal
knew.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew
They're leaning
exactly
into
what
the
they were doing.
privilege. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they realize their privilege over the course of of the season, right?
They do, and they struggle with the straddling of that, right? Staying
Right.
within the graces of privilege, right? The people, the upper echelon elitists, the people that
The
are up there.
corporation really, it's
Really.
Uniyum.
Yeah. Staying in their good graces, but then also being mindful of staying true to
Right. And being
being
the
real.
surgeon that they were when they
Mhm.
started.
Mhm. And I would say that Dr. Azell fought with some jealousy there. If you think of
Yeah.
the autopsy episode, they came to help,
Clack.
Clack, and, it turned into a mess. It became really messy. That
Yeah.
relationship created an issue with that. And so, yeah, there was a lot of feelings all mixed up in there that should not
Yeah.
have been. Yeah.
We can talk about Clack and Azel's relationship in a minute. But Azel was at this hospital where they don't half the time they're not doing the surgery at all. It's the machines around them are doing surgery
Yeah.
because if there's anything less than a 70% chance of the person surviving or the being surviving, they're not doing it. They're
Th-
just observing.
this is what AI is about to do, right?
Oh, gross. No, run away.
I mean, I
AI
think
will
that may
not
be the
do that.
comment though, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Well, and
societal comment.
it is a societal comment because they literally say you can't use that on this being because it's this being is like a water balloon basically.
Right, yeah, that was an
and,
interesting being,
and
yeah,
then the machine punctures it more
right,
and so they quote unquote bleed out more.
right. Yeah, that
So,
was an interesting scene for sure. A little
mhm.
gross, very oozy.
It things don't gross me out anymore, not like that. Blood
Okay,
guts does not gross me out.
so the one word that when I walked away from watching all of it, I was like, "That was disgusting."
What was it that one?
No, just all of it, just the whole I got, and I was telling you,
Y-
off record that, my trauma responses were less, and
y-
my neurodivergent
right,
responses actually overshadowed anything I was getting. There was a lot of ick, a lot of
right.
"Meh, ugh, okay, what was that? Gross. But I also have neurodivergent, puncturing icks
Right.
and bunch of stuff like that. So
I have to say this
makes
was a
sense.
very neurodivergent friendly show, at least for
Yes.
me. They
Yes.
talk really fast, and we'll talk about Clack and the way that they think. Um, but yeah, it's a very neurodivergent friendly show.
Yeah, and I mean, the novelty of it, right? Every scene is different, the colors,
Mm-hmm. It's not super bright, but there are bright colors, if that makes sense.
yeah, and I think they did a really good job with the flashback episode where they showed the girls
Yes, the
in
animation was
college.
different.
The animation was muted, right? There was this sort
Right.
of fogginess to it, or I don't know, it was
a
interesting how
haze
they
to it.
yeah, haze. Yeah, it was interesting how they changed the animation. You're like, "Well, I'm in a different world."
Yeah, so you realize immediately, "Oh, this is different," and then they're like 10 years later, "Oh, okay, now you know
Yeah,
why."
yeah. I find it interesting that everything about this show is different except time. They leave time alone for the most part and let us experience everything in our time measurements
Yes.
for the
Yeah.
most part. Yeah. There is a time episode with the time loop.
Yeah, that was an interesting episode,
Yeah.
overall.
Also Star
Um,
Trek reference,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a way to test. You
right?
know you're gonna reset, might as well test some things out.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're ready for our main characters, our fabulous, fabulous main characters.
Which one would you like to start with?
How
Let me say, which one did you like better out of the 2?
I liked Clack, but I was thinking we would start with Sleech.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That's okay. Let's start with Sleech. We'll go with Clack after.
Because Clack, there's a lot going on with
Well, I
Clack.
think this is
Because this
Clack is I think Clack is the main
For this season, yes. So
focus
they
for this
mentioned
season.
that, that the second season is more going to be about Sleech,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
So, and they set that up at the end, but this first season is very Clack focused.
Yeah. So if you met a person like Dr. Sleech in real life, would you like
Hmm.
Dr. Sleech?
I
Would
don't
you
know.
be able to be friends with them?
Friends, yes, probably. They do seem a little flighty, but
Self-centered a little
self-centered is
bit?
a great word. Yeah, yeah.
There's a little bit of arrogance?
Oh, there's a lot of arrogance, and that would probably get in the way.
Mhm.
It depends on what we were doing, I would have to say.
Mhm.
Depends on why we're in proximity together. Working together, probably not gonna work. I'm gonna get pissed. But being friends, maybe.
It depends, right?
Right.
Because she's led by her arrogance, I think.
Well,
This
not just arrogance, also her fear of failure, perfectionism.
Yeah, yeah, that's I think that and that is very neurodivergent, right? This sort
Right.
of, I need to get it right the first time so I don't have to do this again.
Right.
And that comes from being, under the oppression of other norms, other people's
Yeah. And
yeah,
as being a surgeon, she also doesn't trust other people. So she relies solely on herself, and this comes up in the what
the
is it?
accident one where they
Beef
had all the
sturgeon episode. Is
yeah.
that what they called it?
She actually says that,
She
and no one
does.
said anything,
No,
no
they
one
just
caught
let it
it,
go. Beef sturgeon.
right?
All right. I'm not sure what a beef sturgeon is, but moving on.
A fish cow? A cowfish? I don't
I
know.
feel like that was something like the voice actor messed up and then was like, "We're just gonna
Just
keep
keep
it.
it. Exactly, we'll
We're
work
just
with
gonna
it.
keep it."
Oh, man. May have been a flub, I don't know.
Right? Flub and then move on.
I think
But
Sleech definitely needs an outlet, right? That
right.
is not working, right? That is not has nothing to
That
do
will
with
help them grow. Yes.
yeah, and because her growth is slow because she clings to this environment because she thrives in it, right? And that
Right.
feels good. But when she's outside of that and is challenged, it doesn't feel good. And that's a very neurodivergent response.
Right.
So it makes sense for her to resist change or whatever. But she does end up changing
She
despite her
does. This
need for controlling that.
Right. She's very controlling, especially of herself.
Yes.
And she tries to control everything, and that just doesn't work. And she tries to control her feelings for Ploup, and that doesn't work. So then
Right.
they try to date, that doesn't work. And she's got this friends with benefits situation going on with Matt.
Right. And
And
Matt's a little easier to hang out with because Matt just lets feelings flow, right? There's a
well,
sense of
and
flow to him.
he's that's just who he is. He lets
Right.
everything flow.
Yeah, he just doesn't hold on to
Mm-mm.
anything, which is completely opposite than Sleech. Sleech is
Uh-huh.
trying to hold on to all the levers and control everything and every detail and everything like that, which speaks to her own anxiety and her
Mhm.
own inability to control that, right?
Right.
That's where her anxiety comes out. But it doesn't really get talked about in this particular season, right?
It
It's all
doesn't.
about Clack's anxiety.
Right.
But that is definitely a
We
response to
also
anxiety.
don't get to know much about Sleech's past.
Mm-mm,
That doesn't come up at all. And
mm-mm,
actually, even Clack doesn't know.
Mhm.
Sleech's past. That came up a couple times of
We know more about Vlam's past just
right,
from Vlam blabbing on about their past
right.
than Sleech's. Yeah, for sure. We know more
Mhm.
about Matt's past. We
Yeah,
know more
because
about Ploup. Man, these thank you for giving us names we can't spell or spell and say.
I mean, Ploup has a W in it, so
When someone says Ploup, I think of an elephant taking a shit.
okay.
It plopped. That's what it seems like to
Okay.
me, but it's
Okay.
not the character.
No.
That is the word
Uh,
I would use, though, if I was describing an elephant pooping.
wow.
Uh,
Anyway, Sleech is very much caught up in her own job, very focused on her job. And when it comes to relationships, she tries to control it, number one,
mhm.
but she also doesn't want a deep connection. She's scared of that deep connection, which is what Ploup was
Yeah.
wanting.
It she doesn't make room for it because she has such a this is a weird way of saying this, but a marriage to her job.
Yeah.
She's very, very dedicated to that part of herself and doesn't want to make room for others to come in and disrupt that. Again,
Mhm.
has to do with change and growth and all those things.
Yeah.
She tries it and it feels icky and doesn't wanna stay there.
Right.
So, makes
I d-
sense to me.
I do have to say she is the one who has sex the most on screen. Her
Yes,
character
I think that is also a way to, you know
distance
yes.
herself from everything.
It can be a form of self-harm, I will put that out there.
Yeah. Especially because it was with Matt, who is also sleeping with everybody else, or at least was. And we find
Yeah.
that out in the STD episode.
Which I find hilarious because how would it be if we had an STD that gave us
That turned you
the
into your partner,
your last
your
partner?
last partner at that.
Yeah, you start having, attributes of, a beard or muscles or, one eye is a green color and the other one's a blue color, like,
Right?
you
Your
know
nose changes shape.
Right, right. Your skin color, can you imagine?
Right? Th- That's crazy. And it lasts for 2 weeks.
Right? And Sleech wasn't having it, she didn't wanna stay
No,
in that for
no.
2 weeks. She wanted to control the environment and control how people
Mhm.
perceived her and all of that stuff, and it
And
actually got worse.
yeah, and she made it worse. She did. She made it just so much worse.
Mhm. Very much so.
So, but they've turned into that what cute little thing, right? But Nurse Tup captured them both because Clack got turned into what was it, an Orlosh?
Orlosh, yeah,
Yeah,
the little
she's
Orloshes.
and then Nurse Tup says, "I defanged, declawed, and dewormed you. Now you're impotent little furballs, which is frankly how I've always seen you." And then walks away. She walks out.
I love when they pop back into their bodies, they're completely naked.
Right?
Like, should have brought clothes.
um, anything else on Sleech?
Um, no. I will say she does the other thing she does that it's a lot is eat. We
She
don't
does.
see
She eats a lot
we
of
don't see
different things.
yeah, we don't see Clack eating very much, but much like the sexual escapades, the eating
Mhm.
is also
Well, and we
prolific.
don't know what kind of species she is, so maybe her species eats a lot. We don't know.
True. Yeah, it's possible. There are species that eat all the
That have to
time,
constantly be eating
consistently, yeah,
because 'cause they're
and they eat
constantly burning energy.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I liked all the animalistic, references. Not gonna
Mhm.
go into it here because it's so many, but you will find a lot of Animal Kingdom. Like, if
Well,
you
for,
watch
like,
any nature
Sleech
shows or anything like that, you're gonna get a lot of those
well, like,
references.
Sleech, she hangs upside down to sleep.
She
Like,
does.
that's a normal thing for her.
Plout bounces down the hallway. I'm not entirely sure what that reference is, but
That was the bars he was eating.
oh, was it? Okay.
That was the Boingo bars that were
Oh,
affecting his
didn't
hormones.
didn't realize that was
That's why
okay.
he bounced around.
I
And
was
Matt
wondering. I was
and
like, I
Matt
don't know of
even
any
s
animal that does that.
and Matt even said, "Even your bounce is sad."
Right? Yeah.
How is your bounce sad? How do you do that?
Oh, yeah, Plaup's, changes when he was exuding his feelings, they had a sign on the door that said "volatile emotional leak."
I saw that. Saw that.
Don't come
Uh,
in.
don't come in. Don't. It's not worth it.
It's so funny.
Um, okay. Anything else on Sleech before we move on to Clack?
No.
All right. Since this is Clack's big season, let's talk about Clack. Oh, poor Clack. Her whole childhood was exploited,
Yeah, I actually equated her to, child actors or child influencers
right?
where parents use their child. I also, had a reference in my head about, oh, this is another warning I guess I could have put in there is that, the use of children in medical,
Yeah, yeah.
areas like, Munchausen's and things like that, where parents extort the child through medical practices.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, that can be
cuz she
inferred here
used
as well.
her so her Dr. Clack's mom used Clack's anxiety to build up her reputation, Dr.
Ye
K's
she made a
reputation.
whole
A whole line, a book,
brand. Yeah, she made a
brand,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, they had books, and now there's
Now
a
she
TV
TV
show,
show, yeah, mhm,
and she's a therapist, or
yeah,
supposed to be.
supposed to be. Oh, when the brother came
Yeah, so Clack
I've
has
been
a
talking to
brother,
my therapist,
right?
and the
Clack's like, "Your therapist is mom."
right, exactly, I laughed at that, I was like, "Oh, man, what a family." But the thing is that we don't hear that she has a brother until several episodes in, we didn't even
Right,
know we already knew that Clack's, relationship with her mom was already, struggling
right, especially in that
because of
2nd
this.
episode.
Yeah,
But,
but,
yeah, we don't find out about the brother until, like, episode 4 or 5 or
till
something.
they need him.
Yeah, until they need him because he's a time cop.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he's a time cop, basically, which is very
There's a
interesting.
disturbance in the force.
Which is very interesting, but also they didn't touch on this, but I really wanted to hear what his perspective of their childhood was,
Yeah, I
because
mean
her perspective is all medical treatments for her anxiety that didn't work,
right.
or just made it
Well,
worse.
and the whole underlying exploitation from her mom, and we
Yeah.
don't hear about the dad we don't know if there's a
No,
father
we don't
figure or
know.
not in there or partner figure or whatever. It from our knowledge, there's only the 3 of them in the family,
Right.
and with so much focus this happens in families with, children that have high medical needs,
Mhm.
and that is there's so much focus on the high medical need child that there's other children in the family that don't get the attention they need, and they
Mhm.
get quote unquote "left behind" emotionally, and that can cause issues too. And then
Mhm.
I we can't, who knows? We didn't get to explore that
We
with the
didn't
brother.
explore
I don't remember the brother's name.
Flim's
Flim, that's right.
Flim. Took me a second.
I think it
But
started with an F.
yeah, so we didn't get to explore too much of his side of things, but it is very interesting.
And he does come to her side. Like he
Right,
does
and he does
support her and
he missed her at the holidays,
yeah, yeah.
right? So he does care for her,
Yeah.
for Clack.
Even
So
stands up for her and tries
right.
to be like supportive of whatever she's trying to do,
Right,
especially in the time loop.
and tries to get her out of trouble.
And tries
Uh,
to keep and get her out of trouble, yeah.
right? Stop getting into trouble, but I'll help you out. But Clack, it has this deep anxiety that has been worsened over time by her mom, by the treatments, by all this different stuff, and just the world in general. Because
Mhm.
now the whole world knows about her anxiety. She's the face of anxiety.
Mhm. That she
Peop
never asked for,
Right, and people
never
come up to
consented
her
to.
on the street about it.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been made famous of her own mental health.
Right.
That's a that's a quite the burden to bear.
It is.
That was something that you never asked for or wanted, and this is again, it speaks to the children that are exploited for their acting or whatever being,
Mhm.
put on TV.
Their talent.
If they have talent, it could be just that their face is out there
Right.
because, their mom is a momfluencer or whatever.
Mhm, and it happens all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She also is burdened by internalizing, so she's distanced herself from her mom, trying to get away
Tries.
from she
So she
tries.
she has she's still trying to set up boundaries with her mother.
Yes, but her mother doesn't really understand on an emotional level, even though she's a therapist, she doesn't do her own work.
No.
You can tell she doesn't do her own work. She's so focused and laser focused on selling her brand and selling this
Mhm.
idea that,
Well,
anxiety that she could treat the world for anxiety and whatever.
and even in she quotes her book. When we first meet her, she quotes her book, and she says, "Like many of you, I love someone with anxiety, and it can be so easy to get angry with them because their anxiety ruined your day or overshadowed an accomplishment or sapped the color from a year of your life." Your life. So it's all about her. It's all focused back on her about how Clack's anxiety has affected her, the mom.
Mhm.
Ridiculous.
It speaks to some mental health issues that I won't name
Yes.
that the mom has or
Yes.
possibly has. Yeah. I'm not gonna diagnose a cartoon, but definitely some disconnect there, right?
Right.
Now the mom
Cognitive
does come
dissonance.
around by the end and realizes, "I've harmed my child,"
She
basically.
does start to realize that,
Mhm,
especially because Clack says something about manipulation.
mhm.
And the mom says something about, "I manipulated you." Um,
'Cause she never really took the time to see it from the other side.
right, she never really
She
thought
always thought
about
she
it.
was helping. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah. But it was harming her kid.
right.
So, Clack internalized that and
Mhm.
used that messaging to continue to berate herself inside her own head, which is what happened with the overload and why she put the worm in her brain and all that stuff,
Right.
um, to just relieve some of that overload, right?
Mhm.
She also, when she confronted her mom, she used her past selves. I love the
Mhm.
visualization of this. Used her past selves to create the barrier and the boundary, a
She did.
visual boundary to keep her mom
Well,
from
and
affecting what she was trying to do to
Clack
basically save
putting
herself.
Clack putting the worm in her head really came on the heels of a lot of different things, right?
Mhm.
So there's that mythology, magical thinking with Cthulhu
Mhm.
that got obliterated because he's actually a terrible guy. Then you
Mhm.
have Azel talks down to her about how they think she will never be a good surgeon, or and they'll never work as a couple.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then you also have Sleech, who
Mhm.
is angry that Azel knows about the worm, and so
Mhm.
it all
And
just
also angry too
accumulated.
that Clack took it upon herself, right, to
Right.
just move forward with the putting the worm in her own head and
Well, so I wasn't
revealing
getting
that
I
this
was
is her
talking about
treatment.
why she put it in her head.
Oh, yeah. I
'Cause
was just
then
furthering that anger, yeah.
yeah, then there's more anger, which we get to at the end, which is
Mhm.
them still trying to save, but also be angry about, because 'cause they're both still angry at each other for different things.
Mhm. I like how they highlighted or expressed, represent
Sure.
represented how anger was allowed.
Mhm.
It didn't stop them from their mission, it didn't stop them from making decisions, it didn't interrupt their
Right.
day, it didn't derail their day. They allowed the anger to be a part of it, and this is the thing that I try to teach is that all feelings are allowed. What you can't do is actually act on those feelings and start harming people or harming yourself,
Right.
right? It's the response we need to be worried about, it's not the fact that you're having feelings.
Right. There is a good line about that. There's a whole line about how making bad choices, but I make bad choices that only hurt me. Oh, there it is. Dr.
Oh,
Clack,
yeah.
at least my bad choices only hurt me and not everyone around me.
Mm,
Mhm.
that's powerful.
That was after Sleech said, I am judgmental. You're making the same bad choice I've had to watch you make 1,000 times. I judge.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which that speaks to the wearing of a friendship, right? Or a
Right.
relationship that watching and witnessing somebody do the same decision over and over again and not having that growth, that can damage a relationship because
Mhm.
relationships really thrive when both people are growing at a similar rate, not necessarily the same rate,
Right.
but they're witnessing the growth, right?
Mhm.
As you age, there should be growth. And if you're not seeing that, it can wear down the relationship because one person is growing, the other person is not.
Right. Shall we talk about Azel and Clack now? Their whole relationship.
I got the sense, and I don't know if I got this right or not, but I got the sense that Dr. Azell is a little bit older than
Mm,
like, they're not the same age.
has to be,
Yeah.
because when they went back in time, right, to 10, they were already sort of a doctor
Mhm.
at
Mhm.
Nebulous. So, there's, like, a good 10-year gap or something.
Something yeah, there's a sense of that, right? There that's what I got from it, that there's a sense of that, which tells me that Azell potentially should have a little bit better sense of being in a relationship and not stringing somebody along, but this also speaks to emotional maturity,
Well, and it
and
also
Azell may not have
speaks
that.
to Azelle of who Azelle is, of
Yeah, and then the sacrifices that Azell's made in their personality, their wants,
Mhm.
desires, or whatever, in, actually moving into, the I'm gonna give of myself so that I can have money or power or whatever,
Right.
and not getting fulfilled in that way, and that's Azell's journey, right? That's and
Mhm.
then I think that Clack, got caught up in the emotional, maybe even the emotional relief that they may have had, that, Clack may
Right.
have had of not having anxiety around Azell, because Azell doesn't really create anxiety or create situations that would have anxiety, so there may be a sense of comfort there.
Right, but at the same time, Azelle doesn't want a big relationship, and Clack does.
Oh,
Clack
yeah,
really does.
but I'm not entirely sure Clack even really knew that or realized it until
Mm-mm.
this big sort of blow up at the end, right, with the coming together of the whole story, I
Right.
guess. And also just realizing that Clack will have anxiety the rest of her life, right? There's no cure or no way to be
Right.
relieved. There's gonna be the management of that.
And
So it's just
accepting that your brain is what it is, and
right.
you're not gonna get a normal brain.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. But I think Azell there's some sense of responsibility that Azell doesn't really accept or take in or
Mhm.
wants to acknowledge, and I think that's damaging to their relationship, the 2 of them.
Well, and, Azelle seems very self-centered. That's the first
Yes.
thing.
Well,
Um
there's a privileged, of course.
Right, dripping in privilege. And they're also they try to keep it casual, but they don't want casual, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah, it's the
Cla
duality of it.
Clack even says, "Calling me every day is not casual, it's confusing."
Mhm. So Azell relies on Clack for emotional
Mhm,
outlet, sexual outlet, whatever, but
mhm.
Azell doesn't want to bring Clack into this privileged world because Clack is too unstable or frenetic or however you wanna say it because the anxiety, right? And
Right.
also, I don't know what Clack even represents as far as, power or financial or whatever, but there is that sort of idea that, if you're not gonna be arm candy, then you have no value to me, right?
Right.
And I don't know if Azell even acknowledges that that is something that is maybe a possible problem
Mhm,
there,
mhm.
because Azell is executive, right, for Nebulous.
Well, was.
Was, yeah, they no longer have that job, but
Well, was.
they made choices that demoted them out of that job.
Yeah, yeah, they
Good
did.
choices. So, but yeah, I think
Good for the world and good for themselves.
right. So, yeah, the relationship, I think there's a sense of responsibility that Zell did not take. Again, we're talking privilege, didn't acknowledge or have any kind of sense of maybe. And, it's possible that because Clack got, caught up in the emotional relief or the emotional, dare I say, like feel goods of what
Mhm.
it feels like to be around somebody like that, that Azelle comes across as put together as,
Right.
I have all the things, I can offer you this or that or the other thing.
And
There's
maybe that's something Clack was striving for,
maybe
especially,
that was something that
initially.
Clack was told to strive for.
Could
That
be
was the
that
other
too.
thing. Yeah, think
Could
of
be
the
that too.
mom
Yeah.
and how the mom was, using her as a branding.
Mhm.
So this is just a repeat of that pattern. She
It
thought maybe
is.
Azelle would do the same thing, right? Are you gonna use me as a brand? Are you gonna use me as arm candy? Are you gonna use me as a representation or extension of yourself?
Mhm.
It's exactly what Clack was trying to recreate, and Azelle was not doing it well.
No, because that's not what Azelle was doing.
No,
Because
but
Azelle didn't care.
that's what Clack was sensing or getting at,
Right.
this looks familiar to me, right?
Right.
This relationship looks familiar to me. So, that happens in human relationships too.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's it I don't see it going anywhere.
No. It will be interesting to see how it plays out with
Mhm,
Azelle being at this other hospital now,
mhm,
seeing how that plays out,
mhm.
especially as there is that other character that Clack was attracted to but turned down.
Oh, the plant chick.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember her
yeah.
name.
I don't
Um,
either. It's cute though.
but she had to turn down because Clack needed time for herself after dealing with the relationship and stuff.
Yeah.
She really needed time.
So she had a very small moment of clarity there, right?
Right,
Clack did.
right.
And then after the whole
And
overload of
then
everything,
everything
all them yeah,
goes
it
to
just sort
shit.
of crumbled after that. Yeah. And she basically had a mental breakdown,
Mhm. Yeah.
unfortunately, and we watched it in, being represented and expressed in this
Mhm.
cartoon. So you were talking about how the anxiety and stuff was being used by the mom and all that, and
Mhm.
how the fact that the anxiety got in the way of derailing a day, or
Yeah, because that's
made
what
other
Dr.
people.
K, the mom
Exactly.
said.
So how many times have autistic people had that said to them?
Right.
So that's where I got it. I was like, wow, that
Mhm.
really hit a lot,
Mhm.
in that autistic or ADHD or Audi or however your letters are, even OCD. How many times have you been told that you take up too much goddamn space
Right? You're taking up
because
too
you're
much of
causing a
my
problem?
time.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
taking up too much of my time. You're taking up too much of my space. You're taking up too much of my decision making. Get out of the way. Literally
Mhm.
get out of the way. And that hit home for me,
Mhm.
'cause I remember being told that, right?
Right.
And I have friends that have been told that. And it's not just parents have told that, it's bosses and jobs that, you really loved, and even in traffic I get sensitive to that. Like, I am fucking
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
I'm here. I exist, right? And
Yeah.
that
Do you not see me?
matters,
I'm in a
right?
huge car. How do you not see me?
Right. And clack is not just anxiety, and that's how her mom sees her.
Right.
It's just anxiety, not clack, like the culmination of what clack is, which is a beautiful being with lots of talent and lots of other things that come with, what clack's parents created, or however
Right.
she was.
Even Sleech says that. Sleech says, "You've been treating yourself the way she treats you, like
Yeah.
something that needs to be fixed."
Yeah. Yeah, that hit. Woo.
Mhm.
Just gonna put the blanket out there that, if you're feeling things right now, you are not somebody who's broken and needs to be fixed.
No. No, no.
Now, we can just take that. I love the word growth opportunity, because that we're gonna take the growth opportunity and, use this as a learning moment, that
Mhm.
we are not neurodivergent people, and people with limited abilities or different abilities are not people to be pushed aside and told they're taking up too much space, they're taking up too much time, and
Mhm.
they don't deserve anything. They deserve the equal space and time that everyone else gets in this world,
Mhm.
to grow, to be, to learn, to exist,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. And it touches so many different other kinds of othering, right?
Mhm.
A race, your sexual preferences, like, it doesn't matter. Your partner preferences,
Right.
we're always othered in some kind of way.
Yeah, just gotta let people exist. Just let them exist.
And for some reason, humans have a really hard time with that.
Mhm. So, looking at our inequity section, there's actually not a lot. Um,
Mm-mm.
the casting was really good because all of the voice actors are just amazing and diverse, and
Mhm.
there's a bunch of LGBTQ representation, from
Mhm.
Azelle being non-binary to threesomes to um
I think that was my favorite patient.
what's the
We were
three?
having fun and we fused.
The three together. One of them's a cyborg.
I think they're so funny, and I'm asexual. I don't have any kind of preference of any like that, but the fact that they were having fun and they were just,
Right, and then
all
got
involved
stuck
with each other,
together.
and then they got stuck together, just made me laugh. I thought it was so funny.
All because of a black hole.
That's when kink goes wrong.
Right? Um,
Safe
Cla
word, safe word.
Clack is queer. But everything it's not defined. They just let it be.
Yeah.
They don't give it
Yeah.
labels or anything like that. They just let
Yeah.
it be.
When the STD gets exposed or whatever,
That's the funniest
God,
episode.
that was the funniest thing. People are running around with different attributes and stuff because you're getting, it ran rampant. It was like an
Well, and the
epidemic
chief
or whatever.
surgeon goes, "This is an HR nightmare."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, because it was, and, nobody cared that other people were showing attributes of other people, not beings, yeah,
Yeah, they didn't
other beings. They
the
didn't
it was a
care about all that.
personally they cared. Like Sleech cared personally, but other people didn't care that Sleech slept with Ploup.
Right?
That was not what cared. Sleech
Right?
cared.
I'm not entirely sure why Sleech cared. Maybe because Sleech had some feelings for Plout that she didn't want to have. Also
Uh,
wanted to try to control.
she's trying to control. That's what it is. She's trying to control the information that gets let out.
I love when Ploup and Matt, so if we go back and watch it just for Matt and Ploup's relationship growth,
Right? It
because
starts
both of
off
them
there.
right, it does start off there like, "Oh, bummer." Like,
Right?
they
Because they
both
both
slept with her.
slept with her last.
They both had a tail. Yeah, it was
Uh-huh.
great. Um,
It was really
I
funny watching Sleech try to walk around without a tail because she's like, "How do you balance without a tail?"
right? Her tail had been taken away because she was turning into a bird or a bird-like creature. That's great. Yeah,
uh,
the STD one was that was fun.
yeah, I think that was my favorite of all of them.
Oh my gosh, since we're on this topic of the STD,
Sure.
what did you think about the clone show? That was like the
Oh my
biggest
gosh.
drama. It
What
was
is it?
like a
My lover, my clone.
it's yeah, My Lover, My Clone, and they did a little short scene of me falling in love with
Love,
me,
yeah, me having relations with me at least.
right?
I don't.
Right now, I don't like me, but I love me. It's like it was such a weird.
It's so soap opera-y.
It is very soap opera-y. And then they kiss themselves. It
Yeah.
was funny.
Kiss
It
me,
was
me.
exactly
What is happening on this show?
what a concept. It's so great. Like taking it to the complete extreme, like having
Right?
such, when science goes bad, when AI goes bad, when drama goes
Uh-huh.
bad, when just the whole mess. Uh
Ah.
It also speaks to how you can get caught up in yourself, right?
Mhm.
And really just be so caught up in your own, like, what is it, narcissus,
Mhm.
and really get caught up in your own reflection and all of that, which is what,
Right.
the whole story is about. But yeah, I just think that's really funny. It was really cute.
So one character we haven't talked about is Larvin and little Larvin Jr.
Larvin LJ. Yeah.
LJ.
So we get the whole story at
We
the end.
do.
And I actually
Finally.
thought it was
It makes
um
sense. Of course Uniyum is behind it. Of course they are.
of course, and that speaks to pollution and how that affects the species and all of that stuff. I mean, that's a theme
Well,
that's
and
been
that
happening over.
Larvin was a patient, actually. Not
Yeah.
just a tool, but a patient that they needed to
Yeah.
help.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I wrote this down about medical ethics and stuff. They're still learning about medical ethics, and I thought it was interesting that they sort of bypassed that, thinking that there's sort of this, I was thinking about this with the
Because they solely thought
screechies
about it
too.
yeah, they solely thought
They
about the, Larvin as a parasite.
Right, a parasite, not a and that it was inferior to them as a
Mhm,
being, right? That it
mhm.
had no feelings, it had no other function other than just
The
eating the
Yeah,
anxiety
so this does come up with the
chemicals.
crunchy screechies, because the crunchy screechies, when they're in the bag, they
Yes,
were playing charades.
and the one that got picked up was like, you got it," and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna cry."
I know. I shouldn't be laughing.
So, in the wiki, it said gallows humor, and I never thought of it and
Yeah,
hadn't even heard that before, I don't think, and we talked about that in Happy, right? In our
right.
episode of Happy.
It's very dark comedy.
Dark comedy, and you laugh at it and you're not supposed to laugh at it, and it's
Right,
funny and you're not supposed to be laughing at that because it's so dark and awful. And
right. If
oh
this was
yeah,
happening in the real world, you wouldn't be laughing, but because it's happening on an animated thing, you're fine.
yeah. So this particular show really, from my perspective, plays with empathy in how it's used. It's
Yes.
exploited, it's used, it's
It
I
also
know it's supposed to be
plays
about anxiety, right? The overarching theme is about anxiety, but for me, it was the empathy. It was
well,
how do you treat other beings and how
yeah.
they serve you in some kind of way. So those
There's
screechies, right? They get
also
eaten
yeah,
even though they have their whole entity of themselves, right?
right.
And
There's
that's a theme
also
that's explored over all kinds of science fiction TV
mhm.
shows or movies. Yeah.
There's also the comments on ethics and morals,
Mhm.
right? And how what they might be doing is ethical for them, but for us it's not, but we're also 12,000 years and not the same species. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of change that happens.
I mean, it brings you back to the very first scene, right? Where
Right.
we see this human in our heads. I don't know if you did this, but in my head, I'm like, "Oh, we need to save the human." That's where my empathy went. And
Right.
then
But
this alien gets revealed and is like, "Oh my god,
that's
thank you for saving me." And
right.
now I'm thinking, I wonder if that's a comment on humans being a parasite, being awful, being garbage
Yeah,
to, not
probably
taking
definitely
care of a
is.
planet and that kind of thing, right? That we have these tendencies that had
Mhm.
never evolved, and so we're the ones that are viewed as
Parasitic.
parasitic and awful. Yeah, that
Mhm.
we don't serve any kind of good.
Yeah,
Mm,
it's an
mm.
interesting comment.
Mm, yeah.
So, is there anything else you would like to talk about with this show?
It wrote, "Uniyum is a corporate cult."
It is. Join our cult.
Very much so. Strict adherence to protocol. Oh, and this is highlighted when there's ads during surgery.
Yes. Yes.
So if you
There are
think of yourself
ads.
getting gas, right, in our realm, in our
Oh, it's so
world, right?
annoying getting
You
gas with
go to
ads.
get gas, you push the buttons and all that, get it all started, and then, damn, loud noise comes out of the fucking box, and you're like, "What the fuck was that?"
Right.
And it's in fucking ads singing at you or telling you you need toilet paper or whatever the hell, right?
Right.
And that's what it reminded me of is you're in the middle of surgery, you're so intimately involved in doing what you're doing, and neurodivergent people get really hyper focused on what we're doing, and if you bring them out of that
It's
with
hard
a
to get
fucking
back
ad,
in.
you can't just revert back to that. There's a
Right.
process to it, you have to come
Reset.
back to it. Yeah, and there's a reset to it. It just takes up more time to do
It
that.
does.
And the fact that they had ads during surgery, I was like, "Oh my god, so many ethics in that."
Which is really funny because so doing this podcast, we had to watch this on Amazon.
Mm,
We
yes.
don't pay for Amazon without ads. So there are also ads. And every time you pause now, an ad pops up,
Yes.
which is really freaking annoying when I'm trying to get quotes.
Right?
I have the subtitles on for a reason so I can type a lot and
So
yeah.
we experienced the comment in real life.
Yeah, I was just so annoyed. And then there was ads in the middle of the episode too that were like
Mhm.
3 minutes long and I'm like, "You know what? You know what, Amazon? Fuck you. I like the show, but fuck you."
Right?
So frustrating.
Eh, yeah. I'm not entirely happy about having to watch this on Amazon. I'm not happy that Amazon was behind it. I'm happy that it was made
I am very happy it was
and
made.
that, the voices were lifted, in
We
all the ways, but,
we can't
mm, it is hard to choose these days where to put your attention, where to put your money, where to, voice your opinion, like,
mhm.
is really difficult these days, and all I can say is make the best choices you can for your own life. I'm not gonna apply any judgment to that,
No.
and I certainly hope that our audience doesn't apply that judgment to us.
Did we
We're
say
doing
who
the
the
best we can.
creator was for this show?
Yes, we didn't say it, but yeah,
No. So, yeah,
the cr we
the
should have
cr-
said that at the beginning,
we should
sorry, guys.
have.
Yeah.
Um,
The creator is Sirocco Dunlap
yeah, and she worked on a bunch of different stuff. But she
that we've
also
watched as well.
brought in Natasha Lyonne.
Leon and Maya Rudolph. Well, no, Natasha brought in Maya,
Natasha brought in Maya, and they're all like executive producers for this thing.
right?
Um, so they're all behind it, and I thought it was really cool that
That is really, really cool. Yeah. Can you
yeah,
imagine those phone calls?
right?
I'd love
No.
to be a fly on the wall for that. "Maya, it's Natasha." Wait till you hear what I've got for you, right?
Right?
Let me just
Right?
loop Sirocco in. How about that?
You're gonna love this series.
I bet that was a great Zoom call
Right?
because
Um,
they don't have time to actually go to a meeting,
no, of course not. You always do virtual everything. Duh.
right?
But yeah, I'm glad that it got made. I'm glad that the people behind it were able to control it, and Amazon is just a distributor basically.
Right.
Um, hopefully they didn't control it too much. That's always a problem with streaming services.
I mean, to me, it seems like
They had
the
control.
powers that be did have control, or they enforced that control, right? Take up the space.
Right.
This show will either get made or not get made,
Right.
and you're either in or out.
Right.
And that's the feeling I get from this show being produced like this.
Well, it did help that they started really working on it during COVID.
Yes.
Uh,
Well, and I mean, not for nothing. Streaming services are always looking for new content,
right.
right? Um,
Well, and animation is easier to do when you're in a pandemic
right.
because you're all separated in a
We didn't
voice
talk about
booth.
the animation part
We
very
did
much.
a little bit.
A little bit. I'm a very visual person.
You are.
I like the animation, even though it grossed me out, but I did like it. I like the
Yeah.
line drawing. I like the costuming that they put on the characters. I liked the details they did in each creature.
Mhm.
I even liked that, Clack had different eyewear that she changed over
Right.
multiple times, and
Animation was really, really good.
and it really did. So that was made by Titmouse,
Yeah, Tit
Titmouse,
Titmouse.
Incorporated. They did a really good job. So thank you, animators, for all of that. And I know guys don't get mentioned. So I'm gonna mention it and just be thankful across the board. So whoever did all the drawings and stuff like that, I am super appreciative because even I'm gonna go back and watch it because I'm sure there was stuff going on in the background because there's
Yeah.
foreground,
They also had a bunch of, like, you know how in hospitals they have a bunch of signs up about
right?
washing things and making sure
Right?
to wash your hands? So there's one that says, "Wash your mandibles," that they walk by.
That's so funny. Um, so stuff like that, right? Just being able to watch the backgrounds and stuff. And there is a level of interns that are like extras. Um, and which makes sense because you always have interns. And one of the statements that they said was interns, today's failures, tomorrow's lawsuits,
Yep, I have that
which I
one.
thought was really cute. Yeah, because it's basically true, right?
One of the interns, when the black hole thing happens, says, "I'm gonna need you to cooperate and stop bleeding." To a patient.
As if the patient could think their way of stop
Right?
bleeding.
Can control it.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Um,
Anyway,
alright.
the animation is really good. The color combos are good.
Mhm.
Like, none of that bothered me or I don't have any other comments other than I really like the artwork and all of
Okay.
that. So, and it was just really mindfully done, and I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
even though there's a lot of squirting and spurting and stabbing, and that's just my brain reacting to that.
Right? I was fine. I was fine. But I'm fine with all kinds of gore. And yeah, I'm fine.
I just,
You can't.
ugh. Yeah,
You have problems with that. All right. Well, this was a good episode. I'm really glad this was our start for the year. I'm glad this is
right?
the show we chose. Got the medical thing out of the way.
Wait, we can't count that as horror? Oh,
I
sorry.
wouldn't count this as horror.
No,
No.
I wouldn't either. I was making a joke
Does not
because
fall into that category.
the way that I respond to the oozing and the squirting and all of that.
Is trying to look between your fingers.
Yeah, exactly. I just have that general ick about it. But that's a me thing. That's not
Right?
has anything to do with the show itself. So I still have my admiration for the people who make stuff like this and the lifting of a community and the lifting of these ideas, right? That we can surpass hopefully in some kind of way or even live in conjunction with the corporate cult in
Right.
some kind of way, right? That we don't have to necessarily engage with the system, but maybe there's a way to coexist with it. I'm not entirely sure. I don't
Maybe.
have all the answers. Can't save the world today, but,
Why? Why
um,
not? Um,
I did enjoy it. So, I'm glad
yeah.
while we're making this
I'm
the
glad
first
this
one out of the
was
gate.
the first one of the year.
Yeah.
Super
Hopefully
excited.
everybody else enjoyed it too.
Yeah, definitely recommend this show.
Yeah.
There is a second season that came out in 2025. I don't know if there's gonna be a third one. We can hope.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, shows like this tend to get put the kibosh on pretty fast. So I'm hopeful that there's a season 3, but it's also very likely it'll only be 2 seasons.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to
We'll
see.
see we'll see what the corporate cult wants.
Right? We'll see what the corporate cult does. Okay. With that,
Hmm.
um, have a great day, everybody. Go be amazing.
Right? Self-love, self-compassion,
Yeah, go
you
love
know,
yourself and
my lover, my clone.
don't don't do that.
That's a little too far.
That's a
Just
little too far. But I wish you luck on everything in the world.
use your empathy for good, please.
Yes.
Have a little compassion for both yourself and others. How about that?
Um, go follow us on Blue Sky and
Oh, yes.
go rate us, follow us, whatever, on all the podcasting stuff. And you'll hear us next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.